All right, everybody, we are live.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Welcome back to episode number 2 of live SEO Support with, again, Nick and Chris. So we've got a question somebody's been very eager for us to answer. It appeared yesterday in our group, and I'm pretty excited about it myself. It's something that we don't talk about a lot because it's not really... here at Sir Links a lot, it's not our focus of business, but it is interesting, and I haven't seen anything like this come up in a while. So let's dive in.
Yes, we have David asking about his website. It's a
casino niche. Using an expired domain, according to him. So it's got a little bit of history. If I remember correctly, when I dove in, it was in the gaming niche, so repurposed video game niche, now in casino niche.
And he's got some pretty general questions about it. It's just asking, what do I need to improve its existences via off-page SEO? Because right now it's not really getting good impressions.
And I believe the reason he put this plan together was because of seeing other domains in the SERPs in his area, which I believe is Indonesia, popping up using similar tactics. So expired domain, he's given us one called keepgooglereader.com and asked us why that one's working and his might not be. So diving in, we can start off...
I'll just let you take this, because I think you can tell Nick's pretty excited about this one. So.
I haven't even talked or seen spam in a while. As a matter of fact, yesterday when he asked the question, I jumped in and I was like, well, it's because just repurposing an expired domain real quick and going after a foreign casino SERP it's just not doable anymore. It used to be something that you'd see fairly often, or at least targeting foreign SERPs using expired domains. It would happen real quick. So I was erroneous in saying that it's not doable anymore. David obviously showed us an example of how it is doable, but there's just more to it. So yeah, I'm pumped about it.
So I'll let you take it.
Sure.
If you want to go ahead and pop in the Ahrefs or whatever.
All right. So here we've got his site, thecloudroom.com, which he was gracious enough to share with us. It's got decent referring domains at 259. Looks like it's popping up for some organic keywords. This is what made me guess that, the organic traffic and organic keywords being down, it was probably an expired domain repurposed. And we've seen that it hasn't had any traffic since the end of 2019. And then here around October, we start to get a little bit of inflection in organic keywords. And that's because he's built out a casino, and I'm guessing it's been resonating. David, if you're out there, how long have you been working on this domain from expired to this build that we see right here in front of us? If you're there.
Sugar play.
Oh, hey, that's probably going to help some conversions. Okay, well, anyhow, my guess, and from what we were going back and forth in the thread, was that it was an expired domain. We're going to go ahead and check, what the anchors are. So pretty generic stuff. We've got banned site, blackout, some branded stuff. Looks like it could be, for anything really. Okay, so he's been working on it 1 month, right? So new. Then let's check out the backlinks. We'll see a bunch of higher end stuff, some Web 2.0s, but good anchor profile.
How much of these are Web 2.0s? Looks like a lot.
Well, I think we've got it set to group similar. So if we do 1 link per domain, yeah. Good amount of Web 2.0s in here. But I wouldn't discredit that, because if we open them up, we're going to see, I think, that this was based on, actual legit stuff back in the day when basically the entire internet was a blog spot or, something like that.
So if you, in Ahrefs, if you group it by one link per domain, is it one link per subdomain or one link per domain?
Per domain.
So it'll only show one blog spot.
Oh,
So for example,
no, it'll show you multiple, right? So it's per domain. So
blogspot,
the subdomains are treated as individual domains too. But it just won't, if somebody's got 1,000 backlinks, it won't spam them out in here. So anyhow, looking at this, it looks good. I mean, that's a solid profile to get started off of. But as an expired domain, we know as of let's say 5 years ago, somewhere in there. You have this long waiting period with an expired domain before it's gotten past sandbox. Sandbox isn't necessarily a term I really care to use because I think, it doesn't matter. But it's going to take a while. Yeah, it's hard to predict what's going to happen with an expired domain versus, like an aged domain. Especially when we're talking about repurposing. And so if we look at this, right now, David, you're completely basing what you want to do with this site off of the content that you've put on to an expired domain. So just the existing backlinks that exist and then the content that you've provided. And so in order to keep working on this, what I would do is probably work on some connectivity, so new backlinks going to this. But if we look at your competitor and see what they're doing. And first off, I want to tell you to breathe and just kind of meditate on that, because a lot of SEO is going to be about being patient, prodding at variables, and kind of seeing where they leave you, especially when we get into stuff like using spam, because it's its own art form. And if we plug in this guy, keepgooglereader.com. So first we'll go in here. I keep messing these up. Oh, there's a T there.
Keep Google Reader.
And put a T in.
There you go.
It's awesome that they repurpose something like that. And so this is weird that it redirects to this page here. I don't know why they're doing that, if I'm being honest with you. I wish I could tell you. But if we put them into Ahrefs, and so right out of the gate, just looking at the differences here, we're going to see that you've got this person, 10 times the links, right? Close to 3,000 referring domains, 80,000 backlinks. But honestly, for the amount, it's a very low amount of organic keywords. The traffic is high, right? Because they're probably targeting very specific keywords.
How big of a site is it?
Yeah, check it out. It looked really similar to David's. It's only 27.
It's a small site, so it's not going to rank for a ton of shit, probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's a pure casino, right? So pure interactive casino, same as I believe David's is as well.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't see what I just did, you just do site : and you type in the URL, and it'll tell you how many pages are currently indexed in Google. So yeah, 27 pages is actually a really small site when you account for stuff like, about pages and just random URLs that are going to get indexed.
Right. And so, for the amount of referring domains, we've got a relatively small amount of organic keywords. And we'll see that all of this started recently as well. It looks like this started coming to be and gaining organic traffic, or keywords rather, around March. And only recently do you start noticing this trend of skyrocketing up. Insane. And so right there, you can tell that there's something interesting going on. And so, again, I usually start at anchors. And we're going to notice that we've got Keep Google Reader here, which would be natural link profile to expect on an expired or aged domain. But then we've got tons of exact match. 412 of them, 172. And this is referring domains, guys. 67, 44. So what are we looking at here? Hard manipulation. So we can go further. Let's check out the backlinks. Wow, cool. So Nike foam composite or amposite, Nike basketball shoes, cheap. It's all pure spam. No, this is just complete trash spam.
.us.
And this is, in my guess, all auto-generated stuff. I haven't dove too far into it, but you'll also note that a lot of these were first seen in November and October. So let's go back to the overview again. And we'll note, all right, so October. So, David, this guy is using a recipe that he's figured out, that they have figured out works for them. Or at least, if they're experimenting, they've hit a sort of jackpot here. What I'm going to guess is going to happen in the near future is a extreme crash. And so the idea here for this person is that this is worth enough money for them to completely spam out this domain, so there's no longevity in consideration here. It's get in, rob the bank, and see if you can take enough money to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, churn and burn.
Churn and burn, there you go. Now, the only people I know that do this, though this seems like a non-technical thing to do, are extremely technical. So, hypothesize that somebody that does this for a living, is unique to spamming and gaining authority in the SERPs, is somebody that probably owns a fleet of expired domains, does the same blueprint across a bunch of them, and then attacks them with different spam recipes that they've concocted in order to get this kind of resonance in the SERPs. Some of these recipes might have longer lifespan to them. Some of them might be very short or just never work at all. And so before I tell you, hey, go emulate what this guy is doing if you want to gain that kind of position, what you need to know is that there is no guarantee that using even recipes, this exact recipe, if you were able to emulate these links, which I'm not even sure how these are created. I know people used to use GSA with good success. I even had good success with GSA at one point in time, a long time ago. So doing something like this is something that you really have to study and get good at, but also experiment with a whole lot. There might be some black hat groups and stuff that dive into this, but I don't think anybody's giving out their recipes for something like this because it is extremely competitive, especially when we're talking about something like the casino niche. So, in aspects to your question on why this person is doing so well in comparison, it's
a ton of very targeted spam with exact match anchors.
Mm-hmm. Based off the same principles that you're using, but I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction and tell you that this is something that's easy to do. It's not, but at least now, you might be able to go in here and figure out some links that could potentially work for you if you wanted to go that route. If you want to go the long-term route and get that site ranked in your SERPs, then, you just want to switch to cleaner backlinking campaign. It's going to cost more money over time. And unfortunately, if you're a newer SEO and you jumped into casino niche, no matter where you are in the world, you've jumped into one of the hardest niches to succeed in SEO.
Yeah, I would, like Nick mentioned, go ahead and take a look at the other sites that are ranking. I'm guessing you're probably going to notice some pretty similar link building tactics. And yeah, some niches are just like this, Yeah. It doesn't mean that, the sites might have any longevity. They might actually. In some niches, they kind of just allow the spam.
Yeah, and some geographic areas too.
Yeah, some geographic areas. So yeah, just have a look at the SERP, see if other sites are kind of doing the same thing, and you're gonna have to make the judgment call if that's something you want to do or not. Or you could go the traditional route and build, safely, but it could end up taking a ton of money, and it's kind of a risk either way at this point. You'll just have to make that judgment call for yourself.
Yeah, hope that helps clarify at least a little bit. And I see you said it was an age domain. Yeah, still, if you've only been working on it for a month, give it time to resonate.
But yeah, like we had shown you, the guy has 10 times as the backlinks you have, and they're very targeted with exact match anchors. So
it'd be nice if we could eliminate the spam from that list, and I'm sure you can, but it's going to take time. But eliminate the spam and see what the original domain started out as. But they did have some very high RD in there, in the sense of quality when I was looking yesterday.
I've never seen. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's funny that they chose
this .us.
Now, actually, if I think about it, they might have even. No, they wouldn't have done that. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, it's funny that they're using complete. What's it called? Clothing. Related spam to attack. And so one thing that I was thinking about in aspect to this is, the people that are manipulating the spam are thinking in forms of data, right? So if Google's algorithm knows that a lot of people have been taking video gaming...
Look at these domains.
Yeah. Video gaming related... yeah, and he's probably done tiered links all the way,
like 3K
to hell.
RD.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's all the same stuff, right?
Ultra spam network.
Yeah.
That's pretty dirty.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next question here. We've got one from Beak. Let me go ahead and pull it up on the screen. All right, so hi guys, I'm having LCP issues on my site. What plugin should I use to solve it? I don't even know what LCP is, to be honest. What's LCP? Abik, if you're here, what is LCP?
LCP SEO, right? I had one of those.
Largest contentful paint?
Sounds like something we should probably know, but let's go ahead and learn it all together, guys. We're not the encyclopedia, I guess, that we wish to be. So it's a user experience metric. We're just...
Yeah, Beak, if you're still here and you wanted to give us some more info on what LCP is, please do, because we don't really know what...
There he is.
Oh, that's Chris. LCP is a measurement of how long it takes for the main content of a page to download and be ready to be interacted.
Oh, so page speed issues,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we could help with this, hopefully. I think if we dive into page speed, that should...
All right, so hi guys, I'm having LCP issues on my site. What plugin should I use to solve that? So if you're just talking about page speed, he says largest contentful paint. Mm-hmm. We usually use Rocket.
Rocket attached to a CDN like Cloudflare. You can hire people on Fiverr to do this for you real quickly. It's not terribly hard either to jump on YouTube and learn how to do it, but Rocket connects really well to something like Cloudflare, and that's going to solve a ton of your page speed issues just right out of the gate. Now, there's a million tweaks you can do while in there.
Rocket itself is actually pretty simple. I actually prefer it to, what was the other one? W3. Yeah, W3.
It's complex.
W3 is probably superior, but it's
insanely
super complex. Yeah. So unless you're like really into this stuff, I'd recommend going with something more like Rocket, and then
yes, WP Rocket.
Yeah, WP Rocket. Sorry, and then getting a CDN as well.
Yeah, I mean, just right out of the gate, if you do that, you're gonna eliminate so many of your speed issues.
Yeah, we actually did it with Sir Links a lot not too long ago because our load times were getting pretty bad. Just using WP Rocket and getting on a CDN, I mean we're in the green, like A's, there's really no tech secrets or anything on that. It's just we hooked up to these two things and it was fixed.
Boom. Yeah, we're happy. It's good enough.
As far as I feel like people might overthink how important page speed is, though. In my opinion, it's don't be horrible.
Dude, yeah, if you're hitting C's even, and I mean that might be a little exaggeration, but if you're hitting B's, C's, whatever, don't lose hair over it. It's not going to stop you from ranking and doing okay. You want to consider more about fixing that kind of stuff when you're worried about CTR or user experience, things that I guess you're talking about right now, right? But from an SEO perspective, get it to where it loads up quick enough to, not seem like a dead website. But yeah, if you do what we just said, you're going to be worlds apart from where you are if you haven't implemented anything yet. Shout out to Chris Patterson. Let's go.
Yeah, Chris. I feel like I haven't seen Chris around in a while.
Yeah, welcome back, Chris.
Got kind of a big question here. Let's pull this one up. All right, so Chris says, geo-relevant PBN backlink, 1/2 the power of a, I guess it means topically relevant backlink, who wins? So he's like saying, if it's a very relevant backlink, that's half the power of a backlink that's
power versus
relevance.
Relevance,
yeah.
right?
Me and Nick actually argue about this.
Yeah. I'm going to say my personal opinion is don't freak out about it. Those are two variables in a much larger picture that you've got to consider, and the idea is to blend both naturally to get you the best of both worlds. You want, your site's going to be relevant about something, even if it's kind of general. It'll be news related or something along those lines. Power is going to go a long way, even if it's not relatable, so long as Google crawlers see it as trustworthy enough to pass that power on to you.
Yeah, I would say you probably want to look at your existing link profile, right? And so if you've got a bunch of stuff, if all your links are highly relevant, then throwing in a link that's super powerful but not relevant, could be great for you. You've got a ton of relevance anyway. You just don't want to get to the point where you're throwing in only links that are powerful and not relevant, right?
Right.
I'd probably am more on the relevance train than Nick. Like I like to kind of have like almost everything super relevant, but it's kind of like a balancing act. I would say as far as which one's better, it really depends on your existing link profile and what you think you can get away with.
But hypothetical, just to bust down the door, if you've got a niche relevant powerful domain and a non-niche relevant powerful domain, same power, go with the niche one. It's going to benefit you more. It will benefit you more.
Yeah.
Now let's go a little further though. So this guy ranked a Weebly one-pager for Hawaii SEO company. Can we look that up? That's wild.
Wait, sorry, where are you looking at?
Right here. Chris's question.
Sorry. I noticed that once I started grabbing actual Hawaii business expired domains, it boosted my site fast.
Yeah.
What do you do? Are you 301ing? Are you using for PBNs or what?
I think. That's really smart, Chris. It reminds me, first PBN I ever built was directed towards a real estate site, and I realized buying a bunch of expireds just with relatable geographic targeting to a very small metro, even though they only had a handful of backlinks. I'd purchase them for $10, and 10 of those sites with even 5 to 10 very relevant backlinks, are going to do what you're... I didn't have that kind of success, though. A Weebly website for Hawaii SEO company, that's pretty insane.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you shared that. PBN network.
I got another one from Chris.
We can just answer that one real quick.
So it says, have a new water damage restoration client, new company, new website. How much I got to pay you guys to rank it?
Sounds like you already know how to rank shit on your own, Chris. But let's imagine somebody's got a brand new site and wants to get an estimate of what we would charge.
Let's plug ourselves first. Chris, come over here. Go to links. Go to manage link building.
Well, that's
our minimum is 500. Why is it not loading? Here we go. Basically we just handle all the link building for sites that are in this program. You're on like a 30-day report cycle. It's only backlinks. It's not a full SEO service. So you'd still have to take care of things like content and things like that. But yeah. If anyone's interested in that kind of thing, we do handle link building for people that have a minimum of $500 a month budget for links, and it all goes towards links. We don't pay there's no service fee for the program itself. It's just kind of a reward for spending a minimum of $500 a month on links for a site.
Now, we don't answer exactly how long it's going to take for you to rank, right?
Yeah,
because it's based on your job doing...
I don't even answer that question for myself.
Yeah, I don't either.
For sites that I'm working on myself, you know. But how much I got to pay you guys to rank it?
I would say an estimate of brand new website built properly to at least gaining traction in the SERPs, what I would budget out for as a newbie, or not, just what I would budget out for as a project where I don't really know what's going to happen, 6 months, right? Set your budget for expectation of gaining any traction to be, lucky 4 to 6 months.
I wonder what the water damage niche is like in Hawaii. I wonder if it's like real competitive given the habitat.
If I'm guessing water damage nationwide is still very competitive. They had the best lead generation prices out of any affiliate for quite some time. In the local lead gen sector anyway. So I know a lot of people had a lot of good success, but I would think in Hawaii you'd probably do all right.
All right, let's keep going.
I don't really know.
WP Engine, Chris. It's not something I really have any experience with.
Me either, sorry. Same thing.
That's a little bit different.
Oh.
Let's see what David's asking. All right, so doing clean backlinks. Okay, so we're back to the first example we were talking about today with the Cloud Room, the foreign casino site, and he's asking doing clean backlinks and outrank them. He wants to try out some pillow and diversity link packs, which are a couple link packs that we sell. But I don't have an exact business location. Is it going to be the problem? No. For those packs, we
make it up.
We can.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to give us an address for the citations, that, like, for example, the pillow link pack does include some citations, which is the only thing a business address would need to be used for. yeah, you can either give us one or we can just use a random one. If you have an affiliate site like that, it really doesn't matter. I know a lot of local guys might be like cringing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for affiliate sites, if you have like conflicting citations or whatever, it does not matter because you're not ranking in maps, right? It just doesn't matter. Basically just using them for pillowing purposes. You can actually, I don't know if they can do that with Pillow. I think with diversity, you can request that we don't use citations. I'm not sure about the Pillow link packs actually.
I think we're pretty limited on.
I think you can.
Well, if he wants to know, just
yeah, you can always send a message to
send
support.
a message. Yeah.
Can optimize the homepage only. If you need to optimize any pages that you're wanting to rank. I think you're talking about links right now.
Mm-hmm.
So pillow and diversity only to the homepage. So for that, I would say that's what we normally do. With diversity packs, you can actually send them to inner pages. Pillow is only to the homepage. But yeah, I know you had asked a question about this previously as well, about buying Pillow and diversity every month. That's not going to solve your problem. Pillow and diversity links are used for exactly what their names are, for basically insulation, for some padding for things to look natural, and for diversity, for a bunch of different types of links so that your link profile looks more natural than having, like only guest posts or only niche edits or only PBNs or something. So they are great, and for diversifying your anchors as well.
Mm-hmm.
It just gives you an opportunity to work in some very natural anchors like branded URL, generic anchors, without wasting it on more expensive links, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as doing those kind of packs every month, I would say you're most likely is going to be no. I know you've only got like 250 RD. You might want to just do them 1 month, or maybe one pack of pillow links 1 month, one pack of diversity links the next month. But you're going to want to move on. If you're doing clean links, you're going to want to move on to stuff like, you're primarily going to be using niche edits and guest posts to do the real
beefy stuff,
authority building and
PBN,
pushing.
Yeah.
And then probably going to want to work in some PBN from time to time. And I'm guessing, given your niche, a lot of people probably are using quite a good amount of PBNs. But yeah, that's something you're going to want to look into a little bit more deeply yourself.
The thing with casino niches, there's a lot of competitors worldwide and very few link providers to that niche. So you hit very expensive stuff that's a bit harder to find, which is the reality of that niche.
All right, let's move on. All right, so it says, guys, my traffic is falling after December 3rd update. Any other aspect I should look at apart from speed? I would still say it's a little too early to call it. I honestly haven't even been paying attention to it because nothing...
What we went over last week is what it seems like still. Although I've started noticing some bounce back, so I think... it's probably not to the extent it was at the very beginning, but it's just that a lot of the websites, especially like in the reviews sector, so best of, are losing ground to authority websites, e-commerce websites, things like that, because it looks like the search is now, it's based on user intent. So the best of type articles have now kind of been compartmentalized, it looks like. So if you're doing a review site or anything like that, go to the SERPs that you were doing well in and see who's up top there. You'll probably find a bunch of Amazon, Etsy, things like that. Unfortunately, what it means is start focusing more on long tail stuff where you see websites similar to yours in the same area. He's
Yeah,
got
and I don't think traffic was really like one of the, or I don't think speed is one of the what was one of the things
not the
that
main
was really
thing,
addressed
no.
in the algo update. Speed will never be like a huge ranking factor as long as you're just like meeting the bare minimum, like we had talked about earlier. You're going to want to look elsewhere for what the issue is and why you're losing traffic. Like Nick was talking about, the first thing I would look into is the niche itself. What kind of site do you have? Look at other sites, your competitors that were doing well before. How are they doing now? Do they have similar sites? Just kind of start digging there. I would be more focused on niche type stuff and certain niches. Shifting towards what Google's preferring. Are they preferring, more authority? Are they preferring different types of sites that only talk about a certain thing?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That was what the, I can't even remember what month it was in now, but the past algo update, that was a lot bigger than this one. Really hit some stuff pretty hard with just a shift towards much higher authority for a lot of niches. And you started seeing, the big boys like Walmart, just basically completely taking over certain niches, and the small guys getting pushed out. And that's just kind of the name of the game. But yeah, I wouldn't think that speed would really be something you need to look at too much. This isn't a question, but I want to take it because I never get tired of talking about this. So, dude, you're only ranking for a long tail keyword, noob. So this is something you see a lot, and you can actually see it go both ways because, every now and then you'll see someone post something in a group and it's like, well, look at what I did.
Right.
And, they're looking at it from like, I'm such a great SEO. So they ranked for some long tail keyword with hardly any search volume, like in a week or whatever, and they're number one. And so they're trying to say like how awesome they are. So, all right, so you're not awesome. That's just how it works. That's the point of going after long tails. But, B, going after long tails is awesome.
You're still awesome at your job of keyword research. That's where everything starts. So to a degree, they can pat themselves on the back, I guess.
But yeah, like I love going after long tails, even on sites with a high amount of authority that can rank for more general type keywords. That they don't need to go after the long tail stuff to pull in traffic. All the everything you see from search volume indications for keywords, including what you're seeing from Google AdWords Planner, which is the closest approximation you can get because that's the only information from Google we actually get on this stuff. It's all made up, basically, or not made up. They have ways of estimating it, but it's not right. So even long tail keywords that have zero search volume, you can end up making maybe even some of your best traffic to your site out of it. Maybe you're only getting like 20 traffic to your site a month, but if it's a good long tail keyword with buyer intent, then who cares if it says zero if it's making you money. Right. And if you can find 20 of these things and you're ranking for all of them and just pulling in some nice targeted traffic, then you can make a business off of that.
Picture like a hyper competitive niche like real estate in the local sector. So, a local agent with a brand new website probably isn't going to be able to compete with billion-dollar companies in a big metro. But what they can do is look for things like long-tail keywords that would, have the trickle-down effect of, potential clients being led to this realtor. And when we talk about a sale there, we're talking about quite a lot of money. So every conversion counts in some niches, whereas, a lot of us think in aspects of like affiliate SEO with Amazon where we're making, near nothing. But there's a difference there too.
Yeah, so long story short, don't pay attention to people like this. I know Chris is trolling, but yeah, long tails are awesome. I love long tails. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so the question is, and updated about last week's question, I 301 directed the tag post to the main post. Okay, I remember this from last week. like you advise, anything else I need to do, or is it good? Because I still see the bad URL appearing in SERPs. It can take a while for the URL to disappear out of the SERPs. It really depends on how often your site is being crawled by Google. But even then, even if your site's being crawled pretty often, stuff can take a while to actually drop out of the SERPs. So yeah, just give it some time.
Now, I will say, and this, is just, this may be too dumb to say, but better safe than sorry. Go in there and make sure you click on that link and that old page does not exist anymore and that it's actually forwarding.
Yeah, so actually test it yourself.
Errors like that do happen, and, you got to just make sure.
Yeah, so if you go in there and you test it yourself,
just give it time.
I would just forget about it, to be honest. It's not something I would even check anymore. It'll eventually happen. Like everything else in SEO, stuff just it moves slowly. All right. Chris was saying for that local client they'd wanted to pay $5,000 a month.
That's more than enough money. Come on, dump it into MLB and we'll take care of the rest for you.
I'm assuming for $5,000 a month.
You're doing actual SEO
for a local site, though. Mm-hmm. That seems like, without looking at the niche, I would say that seems like a pretty healthy budget.
That's for the water damage site.
Water damage in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's a nice budget. Yeah, $80 cost per click. Yeah, it's a pretty competitive.
Chris asked, "Do we want a testimonial?" The answer to that is hell yeah, Chris.
Yes,
if anyone's watching this right now that has used any of our products, we're actually going to be pushing in the group pretty soon to get some more testimonials from you guys, from people that actually use our products quite a bit. We're just trying to beef up the site right now with a bunch of stuff like this. Just people that have actually used our stuff and have had cool results with it. Because people love seeing rank graphs, right?
Shit, even I like seeing rank graphs. It's something we don't get tired of in this industry.
Any insight on Google Guarantee? I have no idea what Google Guarantee is.
Usually if there's some kind of Google thing, I'm very off. Let's look it up.
Google Guarantee. Google Guarantee. Oh, okay. No, I know what this is. This is yeah, you see these guys at the top of local SERPs. I don't know
an altered ad.
I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen or not, but yeah, it'll basically, you see this kind of thing at the top of local SERPs. Yeah, Google's squeezing more money out of people.
Granted, if you're good at using Tag Manager, which is something only recently dove into, but if you're good at using Google Tag Manager and actually running analytics and data to your Google ads, then you could probably do pretty well with this.
Well, this is actually if I haven't done local in a while, I'm sorry, but it's not an ad. It's or actually it is an ad.
I don't know. It runs like an ad. Oh, above the paid ads.
Yeah. I thought it was unpaid. All right, so I guess I think you pay one time or something.
No, it said $50 a month.
Okay.
Is the charge.
So yeah, you're basically paying $50 a month to appear even above their ads. I wonder how many times they're going to keep doing this.
Actually, this is pretty cool. Offers consumer protection and up to $2,000. So Google guarantees the people that hire you, that you're going to do well, I guess. But see, that opens a whole... I don't know. I don't know very much about this. It's interesting for sure, though.
So it's definitely another way for them to make money, right? And it's definitely so if you're in a niche or your client is in a niche that the SERP has these things on it, you're most likely gonna need it, right? It's right at the top of the page. It's got this check mark and your review rating right there. It's just these things are gonna be pulling a lot of traffic from organic, just like ads do as well.
If you got the budget for it, I mean, I would say, you know, and this is part of what you do is Google Ads and local paid ads like this, then $50 a month, like, you know, just think about your ROI. If it gets you one lead per month
So I wonder what's next. Is like what's next? So now they have organic, and then they're like, okay, we'll put ads on top of that.
Yeah.
And now they're like, all right, well, now we're putting Google Guarantee on top of that. So what's next? Like super ads?
Yeah, yeah, right.
They'll just like keep piling it up.
Mega ads, get your big ass super mega
Yeah,
ads.
there's like no organic at all anymore.
No.
But yeah, I kind of expect Google to just keep kind of doing stuff like this all over the place, just ways to make, you know, they're basically just monetizing in as many ways as they can.
Now, I will say this, though, in relation to them giving a guarantee to the consumer, it's probably going to increase your conversion rates, because knowing that, assuming that the potential client or customer understands that about this, but you know, over time I could see that. I would rather pick somebody that I'm going to get a guaranteed expectation out of versus
it's a cool idea, especially that since they're offering, you know, something
like
actually tangible with it. Like I said before, if it's you know, if your SERP has those things on it, you're probably going to want them. Just the game is changing, right? Last question from Chris says, favorite research tool? I guess you mean keyword research tool? If you're still here, Chris, what do you mean? Do you mean keyword research or just overall research?
I guess really my favorite research tool is actually our enemy, frenemy, Google. If I'm being honest. Or maybe YouTube, actually, because I love my video explainers.
If you're talking about keyword research, I'm going to go ahead and plug these guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Keywords everywhere. I love this. It's paid now, but it's super cheap.
That's fine. Plug it.
So, I mean, you can pretty much just get this like $10 one, 100,000 credits basically, and it just hooks onto your browser and lets you do some cool keyword research stuff.
I'm still on my first subscription payment.
Yeah,
I
me too.
Put in,
me too.
Which is insane because I use it almost every day.
Yeah.
And overall, Ahrefs.
Yeah, overall research, Ahrefs, hands down. We are running out of time, guys. Or no, we're not.
No, we're all right.
Never mind. We still got 12 minutes. I'm sorry.
Another rank math question. Just hit it real quick.
People love talking about rank math.
Yeah.
It's so hyped. All right, so the question is, what do you guys think of rank math? If you don't like it, what do you recommend? Thank you. I've never used rank math.
We went over this last week, actually, but I've got rank math running on a couple sites, and it's just because I purchased them operating that way. It works very similar to Yoast. It's very good. I personally use Yoast, and it just has to do with force of habit and it never letting me down, really. However, you can't really go wrong with either of them. They're going to get the job done, and they both work very similarly.
I feel like I should actually use rank math myself. Even, I actually wrote an article on these things a while back. So rank math, the one disclaimer is that people have talked about basically there being, not spyware, but they're basically like keeping tabs on your site and collecting information. I don't know if that's true or not. You're going to want to look into it yourself. There's plenty of like Reddit threads and group posts talking about this. Even as recently as last week, though, I've seen people kind of like dogging on rank math, saying that basically, I don't know, you're going to want to look more into it. I don't want to say too much about it because it's not something I know too much myself. What I know is that the tried and true Yoast is working perfectly fine, unless you're like one of those, if you want to look into rank math, the only real reason I would look into rank math is if you're one of the very small percentage of people who need the paid features of the other plugins. And if you need those paid features, rank math is offering a lot of those features for free. It might just come at the cost of them kind of monitoring your site. But yeah, do your own research. If you don't need the paid features, the other ones are working just fine. I used Yoast myself personally. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. These things are all doing the same thing unless you need the paid features.
Yeah, just make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah, and one more thing, don't use the suggestions that any of them are giving you, right?
Right.
So, you're basically just using these things as a tool to, change stuff like the title, the meta, get your XML sitemap, stuff like that. I would not take the suggestions that it's telling you to do as far as on-page optimizations. This stuff might get better in the future, but as far as right now, this stuff isn't hard to learn. You can learn it. You can learn how to do on-page yourself and make the optimizations yourself without these free plugins telling you how to do SEO. So I would stay away from that.
Noman's question, which I'm actually pretty. This one down here, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I haven't actually looked yet.
Noman says maybe organic will push to page 2 if it keeps going like this.
Yeah, with the
Noman,
guarantee.
You could be correct.
Yeah.
God, that's the day. Hopefully Google will die, but maybe it won't. Maybe people will just put up with it because they're too lazy.
I don't want it to die until I really cash in on SEO.
Chris says I suck at math. What is that? I don't know, Chris. It's another language that we use sometimes.
We suck at it too.
All right, let's see what Noman's saying here. So it says, I just joined. What are your thoughts on the new Majestic tool? I haven't checked it out but saw an Facebook post saying that it is now revealing tier 2 to 3 links.
So, yeah, I saw this and I was pumped about it until you just mentioned it. So how about we just pull up Majestic? I use Majestic mainly for just grabbing generic info on like citation flow, trust flow, and stuff like that, but I don't give it too much weight and aspects to how I run my SEO campaigns. This is a very cool feature, though.
I don't even know if I have
I don't know
it
if you
here.
get the login, huh? Well, we might be able to just type it in and get an image of it then. Basically, yeah, Majestic has made their crawler go 2 to 3 levels deep, I believe, in aspects of tiered link building, which is an awesome asset to have. In regards to, like, if you looked at that spam site, the casino niche earlier, it had tiered links going to it. And so here, you want me to pass you that so we can pull that site up in there and actually go through the tiered links and see how well it does?
Sure.
We can go over like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what this looks like. I guess they just made it a very convenient way to look at the tiered links. Because, I mean, you can see tiered links in Ahrefs if you just click enough buttons. It's just not all right there and nice and pretty for you, I guess.
It's like, I think it creates like a map sort of.
Okay. Yeah, Nick's saying it creates some kind of map.
Or like a digital model, basically. Let's see. Which I guess is pretty, but not very useful.
Chris says, screw that, sticking to Weebly. Got a Weebly fanboy? Well, I guess you're the only one, Chris.
It works.
But yeah, they can rank. Just, doing on-page optimizations to a site like that might be a little tougher. All right, looks like Richard is giving us a link to look at.
There you go, Chris.
Here, you can go ahead and talk about it here if you want while I pull it up.
Okay, hold on a second. Will you just move that over there so my email doesn't get out? Wait, what were you saying?
I've just got some info on it pulled up over there.
Oh, okay. So let's see what they say. Yeah, so it's a visual model representation about the immediate networks that are going to surround your website. And so, like, I was excited about it. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, so it's going to be another thing that's cool, kind of like their word map, which is pretty neat, but, it's not something I really use in aspects to grow my business all that much, but let's
What site did you want to look at?
the Google Reader one, because we know it's got tiered spam going to it, so it could be kind of fun to look it up. Richard says it goes 4 max deep. That's pretty cool.
What was that site? Google Reader.
Would be at the very top. Or if you just memory history, Google Reader or something.
Where the hell's all our other comments? Yeah, luckily we've had a bunch of people asking questions today. So much, in fact, that we can't see the other comments that were asked. What was it?
Or Google Read or something? Yeah. Oh, there it is. KeepGoogleReader.com.
Thanks, David. All right.
And then we gotta figure out where it's at in here.
And this is why you use Ahrefs, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Okay. Oh, cool. So there's their link graph. It looks neat. Go ahead and click more. Rad. Okay, so...
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's really cool. I remember... back in the day, there was a course, OMG Machines actually did something like this, but it was Google, like a huge Google model like this. Oh, I love that you can actually zoom in there and get the domains. Now,
yeah, I'm not going to lie, this is pretty cool.
It's cool.
I just don't know
Yeah.
how functional it is.
Like,
what is going on?
what
here?
would we use it for, right?
Yeah.
There might be ways to conceptualize something, but as far as like my business model goes, currently I see this being more like, I'm sure a client would love to see it. If you're tiered link building, you're like, hey, check out, this is where your universe started, right? You've got to picture your online galaxy looking like this, and here's where we've got it now. Because I think that representation is easy for somebody to understand, looks cool. It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Noman says check the comments. I don't know what you mean, Noman. But yeah, I mean, maybe if someone can explain like what we should be doing with this, but right now it just looks like a cool way to visualize it all, right? As far as like, am I going to be using Majestic now because of this? No.
Yeah,
but it's cool, and I feel like they could do cool things with it if they like add some more functionality. So here it says tier 0. I have no idea what I'm doing.
well, we're just checking out the new tool. It's like I can't see myself using this for much more than if I were to show clients, tiered links. Going
Yeah,
to
so the
something.
thing is like, when you're in Ahrefs and, you just look at the domains that are linking to your domain, it's very easy to go in and, look and see how many links that those sites have as well. You don't necessarily need a visual representation of it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish they went a little bit away from the super visual representation and went more of like in a data-friendly way to look at it,
Like how Ahrefs kind of has
So
it.
basically, if they just like lined it all up in a nice row, and then you could click to expand like the tiered links for each one, rather than this like very pleasing visual.
Can you do any of that? Like if you click on this, build link graph, what does that give us? Oh, so then it gives us theirs. I mean, I could see this being kind of interesting, like from an explorative standpoint, I guess, too. But yeah, like Chris said,
Yeah, like what Noman's saying, he says it'd be much more helpful if it was in tabular with various tiers. Exactly, right? If it's more of like in a spreadsheet layout, right, where you could expand tabs to see it all without the visual flair. So that's a cool idea. I hope Ahrefs and the other guys take note of this, and
or Majestic expands on it at least a little bit.
Any time that any of the big tools like add something cool like this, it's good for everybody because it just pushes them to do other cool stuff and keep improving. So, am I going to be using it? Probably not. Do I like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, looks like we went 1 minute over, and I do not see any unanswered questions. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for joining us. It's pretty cool. Last week, I think we only had one real question from the chat, and we were just answering, maybe a couple questions, and we were just answering a lot of stuff that we had saw on the Facebook feed. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah, today we stayed busy.
Thanks to everyone who showed up and asked questions today. You guys are awesome. Hopefully we gave you some good info. And yeah, like always, we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same... Oh, actually, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, next week we'll be skipping for the holidays. Happy holidays to everybody. And then after the new year, we'll be back ready to go. Yeah,
so I guess, we're probably going to be skipping 2 weeks. But if we decide we're going to do some kind of stream, we'll definitely make you guys aware of that. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody. See you next time. David, you're sleepy now. It's 3 a.m.
Thanks for staying up, man.
Yeah, hopefully we answered your question good enough, David, if you're going to stay up that late just to see us talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yep. Cheers. See you next time.